Platinums!
It's no secret that platinum trophies are easy to come by these days. With the explosion of indie titles available on the PlayStation Store, you can pick up a platinum in mere minutes. This is all well and good, however, the quality of a lot of these experiences is lackluster, to say the least. That's why it's my mission to showcase games that are quick and easy to platinum, but are also worth your time. My name is Dan from Platinums, and in this video I'll be showing you another 10 quick and easy platinums from games that are worth playing. I'm really sorry that it took me so long to release this video. I wanted to get this out quicker, however it took me a little bit of time to actually find and then platinum these games. I would only ever recommend a game that I have finished personally, so I can confirm that the game gets the official Dan Platinum seal of approval. So without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 10. Fe. 70% on Metacritic, 8-hour platinum. Fe, or Fe, I'm not really sure, is a 3D platformer from EA. In Fe, you play as a magical fox-like creature travelling through a forest that's been invaded and in the process of being destroyed by the Silent Ones. The game focuses heavily on how Fe interacts with the flora and fauna of the forest using different songs. The majority of the game focuses on platforming and traversing the open world map, using abilities as you unlock them. There are some light stealth sections and puzzles throughout the game just to break things up. The game is gorgeous to look at, and I found the ambience of the forest just perfect. The locations are varied and fun to explore, filled with creatures that help you along the way. Some common criticisms of the game mention temperamental controls, but I found platforming worked pretty well once I figured out the intricacies of how Fe moved, and as you unlock more abilities, it's actually a lot of fun. In terms of the platinum, everything is relatively straightforward here with nothing difficult. Only 2 semi-missable trophies, and a collectible guide will definitely be necessary here. Number 9. Kona. 71% on Metacritic, 3-hour platinum. Kona is a first-person mystery game set in the 70s in northern Quebec. You play as private detective Carl Faubert, who arrives in this snowy town just for a routine job. Stumbling upon a murder, you set out to uncover what's happened, with the entire town seemingly empty. The game's setting and story are the strong standouts here. The map is sparse and eerie, capturing the feeling of isolation perfectly. You make your way from location to location, exploring homes and buildings, finding clues. The game has this absolutely amazing narration throughout, giving us insight into what's happened. The game is 90% a walking simulator, but has elements of survival and combat. Combat is almost unnecessary and adds little to the experience. The mechanics are fairly clunky, but it's such a small piece that it can actually be completely avoided. Survival mechanics are extremely basic. All you really need to do is watch your heat levels so you don't freeze, but this quickly becomes a non-issue due to the amount of campfires and items available. The platinum here can be earned in one really meticulous playthrough with some very minor cleanup. However, the list is definitely geared more towards 2 playthroughs. One normal one and a quick dash through the game a second time without using certain items or vehicles. If you're just going for the trophies, I would recommend a walkthrough the whole way. I had a great time exploring in Kona. I think fans of this type of game will have a lot of fun here, although if you play this game for the survival elements, you'll be sorely disappointed. This is a great mystery to be had for anyone hoping for a good story and a quick platinum. Number 8. Cat Quest. 74% on Metacritic, 8-hour platinum. Cat Quest is a game I glossed over in multiple sales. I thought it looked like a forgettable game aimed at kids, but instead I found in Cat Quest a fantastic, admittedly basic hack and slash looter RPG. This game offers a huge amount of fun. Cat Quest sees you play as a hero cat with dragon blood, unlocking in him ancient powers to defeat the game's antagonist, Dracoth. You explore the open world map entering dungeons to complete quests and unlocking new equipment. Standard RPG stuff. The game features a real-time hack-and-slash style combat system, where you can switch between melee and magic. There is an abundance of loot to collect and various spells and weapons to unlock, which often feel very, very distinctive to use. The story is a sleeper hit, with some fourth wall breaking stuff and memorable characters. These characters also appear even in the sequel, Cat Quest 2, which is just as good and adds in more weapons, spells, and even co-op play. To earn the Platinum Trophy for Cat Quest 1 and 2, you'll be looking at about 8 to 10 hours, but this could be a lot longer depending on how quickly you run through the game. A more relaxed playthrough might take 15 hours or so. Cat Quest can often be picked up for a couple of bucks, an absolute steal for the content here. I haven't even gotten into the amount of cat-based puns in this game. I think it should be easy to persuade you to pick this up, along with an easy platinum. Number 7. 1111 Memories Retold. 77% on Metacritic, 6-hour platinum. 1111 Memories Retold is a World War I story game where you will be splitting your time between a German mechanic and a Canadian photographer, two people who never expected they'd be called to the front lines of the war. Our two main characters are destined to have their paths crossed, and the story is genuinely one of the more memorable ones for me in recent years. I thoroughly enjoyed the characters, and the story goes places I never expected, even offering multiple endings. Speaking of those endings, viewing all of them is required for the platinum, but thanks to the short game length and the ability to load up from chapter select, earning the endings isn't too much work. There are a lot of missable collectibles, however, and one collectible is glitchy, so I would advise using a guide and saving and backing up that save when recommended. Gameplay wise, Memories Retold is similar to the Telltale style of game with a few mini-games thrown in, nothing too complicated as you can imagine. I have to mention the graphical style here too. Characters and environments are designed in a way that makes them look like paintings. It can seem a little blurry at first, and I'm pretty sure this was just a tactic to use low poly models, but it really does grow on you. Pick up Memories Retold for a poignant story of the horrors of war, friendship, love and humanity. I'd recommend this game without a platinum, but it's a nice bonus to pick one up in about 6 hours. Number 6. Forgotten Anne. 78% on Metacritic. 4-hour platinum. Forgotten Anne is a 2.5D adventure game set in a world where items discarded in the real world go and become sentient. Yeah, makes sense. The story follows Anne, who is what's known as an enforcer, someone with the power to remove that sentience from the inhabitants of the Forgotten World. The game is set during a rebellion of sorts, where some of the Forgotlings, as they're known, are setting off explosions and doing rebellion stuff. Anne sets off to put an end to this insurrection. The world is bizarre, but the story is one of a kind. Anne, along with the supporting characters, are top-notch. I mean, there's one guy that's just a gun, and that's it. And he's a police officer. As you can see, the art is stellar here, heavily inspired from Studio Ghibli with beautiful animations and character designs. The gameplay is standard 2.5D stuff. You move left and right and can enter doorways, go up and down stairs. There is some platforming and puzzles, but the narrative and dialogue options are the stars of the show here. For the platinum, you can get everything in a single playthrough by following a guide and being extra nice to everyone. There's a trophy for not distilling anyone, which is easy to avoid throughout the game, and there's a chapter select. Forgotten Anne is an easy game to recommend thanks to its great story, beautiful presentation, and easy platinum. Number 5. Teslagrad. 78% on Metacritic, 4-hour platinum. One of the more well-known games, and older ones on the list, Teslagrad is a 2D platformer that gives you the power of magnetism, or something like that. I'm not very sciencey, sorry. In Teslagrad, you'll be able to manipulate objects, fly through the sky, and dodge ridiculous amounts of electricity using the magic power of magnets. The game boasts plenty of well thought out puzzles and platforming challenges using the unique powers on offer. It's a popular game for a reason. And when it comes to the platinum, this is one of the earlier examples of an easier platinum trophy, taking only around 4 hours to platinum. There's no miscellaneous trophies or anything connected to the story. All trophies are tied to in-game collectibles. As a result, Collectibles Guide is basically a trophy guide here. Teslagrad is a game worth playing for any fans of the 2D platformer or Metroidvania genre. The platinum is arguably the hardest on the list due to some tricky platforming, but I wouldn't rate it any harder than a 3 out of 10, especially when using a guide. Number 4. The Last Campfire. 81% on Metacritic, 4-hour platinum. It's safe to say that Hello Games got into a bit of hot water with the build-up and release of No Man's Sky. However, I can't think of a stronger redemption arc in gaming. Sorry, Arthur. Hello Games persevered through the backlash and kept up support for No Man's Sky, to the point that it's currently a much closer realization of the original game we were all sold on. And while they were fixing No Man's Sky, Hello Games quietly released the next game on the list, The Last Campfire. A beautiful puzzle game where you play as Ember, who's tasked with restoring the soul of other forlorn and reigniting the fires of various campfires as you journey throughout the world. Contrary to No Man's Sky, The Last Campfire is small in scope and mostly linear. The game tells a short but meaningful story, solving puzzles that get a little more intricate as you progress, but never getting too complicated. The platinum can be picked up here in about 4 hours by simply finding and saving all the game's 22 forlorn. The game has to be played on normal difficulty, but there's absolutely nothing remotely challenging here. The Last Campfire is one of the most polished games on the list, coming from such a high-profile developer, and it does show. This is a great experience that has an interesting story, cute characters, and a beautiful art style. Above all else, an easy platinum. Number 3. Yoku's Island Express. 83% on Metacritic, 8-hour platinum. Everyone loves pinball, right? Well, actually not me. Beyond my experience playing Pokemon pinball and pinball back on Windows 98, I never had any interest in playing pinball. That is until I found Yoku's Island Express, a 2D platforming Metroidvania with a strong emphasis on pinball mechanics. Now, I can understand any confusion that description might bring, but let me tell you, this just works. There's so much to love here. An adorable main character pushing around the ball, a large interlinking world to explore, puzzles and satisfying gameplay that blends platforming and pinball. The game is definitely on the longer side out of the other games on this list, although if you prepare with the trophy guide, you could get the platinum here in around 8 hours. Nothing is missable and everything can be mopped up in post-game. Part of the reason this took me a little longer is that I wasn't completing the Scarab challenges throughout the game, meaning that I needed to replay all the pinball challenges a second time. But these can be finished on the first instance if you are aware of them. Yoku's Island Express is a great game that shakes up the 2D platforming genre and a game that's very, very easy to recommend. Number 2. Gorogoa. 84% on Metacritic, 2-hour platinum. Coming in at number 2 is the shortest game on this list, but certainly one of the more intriguing. Gorogoa is a puzzle game where you manipulate 4 pictures in panels to solve puzzles that move the story along. This is an absolutely stunningly animated game using hand-drawn artwork and the type of puzzle that would only work in the medium of games. This was made by one person after initially being planned as a graphic novel, and it's clear that this is just a passion project through and through. The game itself is quite short, and the platinum can be earned in about 2 hours with 2 playthroughs. There is a trophy for a speedrun and for finishing the game in a limited number of moves, so while it's possible to do in one playthrough, this would mean following a guide and moving very, very quickly. It makes sense to play this game once to get familiar with how it works, and again to do the speed run and the limited number of moves trophies. However you end up playing Gorogoa, I can guarantee that you'll appreciate the time and care that went into crafting this gorgeous puzzle game. This will likely be one of the quickest platinums that you can earn from a game that's really worth playing. Number 1. Celeste. 91% on Metacritic, 8-hour platinum. Last but certainly not least is the most well-renowned game on this list, Celeste. Released back in 2018, Celeste became an instant classic with its punishing platforming gameplay, flawless controls, and thoughtful story, taking on the difficult topic of mental health, told with care and consideration. Celeste is a controversial pick for this list because at its core is one of the most challenging games I've ever played. Thanks to a built-in assist mode, however, the trophies can be earned by anyone with no skill required. Assist mode gives players invincibility and unlimited charges of the dash ability, turning this platinum run into a simple matter of picking up and finding the game's collectibles. Without assist mode, I would say this game is an easy 10 out of 10 difficulty, which brings with it a moral decision when it comes to the trophies. I myself played the game until finishing the story without assist mode, but have no shame in saying I turned it on to overcome the game's hardest challenges. I can safely say that I wouldn't have had the skills involved or the time dedicated to become the god gamer needed to truly master Celeste. When it comes down to it, you can strike a balance here and both enjoy the challenge of Celeste and picking up the trophies thanks to assist mode. And there we have it, another 10 quick and easy platinums from games worth playing. I really hope you found a game that looks interesting from this list. Drop your suggestions in the comments if you have any other examples of quick, easy platinums. I might use them for the next video. As always, thanks for watching. Your support really does mean a lot to us, and best of luck trophy hunting.
Platoons!